Hey, I'm Frank, and I'm going to be walking you through the capabilities of our current RAG implementation with regard to Challenge 8. This is our RAG, and we call it Rescue AI. And just to give a little background, we loaded our document index with historical legislation from the Department of Finance. These are proposed bills from the past that were reviewed by someone from finance and then either opposed or approved for consideration in the budget. These documents are still going to be similar to the APR narratives analyzed by the HCD, in that you have numerous lengthy texts that need to be parsed, summarized, and weighed against certain requirements. So the results you see are going to be specific to bill propositions, but the use case still applies to the needs of the Department of Housing and Community Development. So I think we all understand that the idea of RAG is to get a ChatGPT-like experience, but with a closed information source. We're able to ask a question in plain English, like which bills pertain to housing? And as you can see, we get an answer back pretty quickly, and most importantly, we can see some citations for where this information is coming from. If we look at a citation and look here under the title, you can actually see the paragraph that the answer is found in, and you have the context of the rest of the document if that's helpful to you. But the point is, it's not a black box. You can see that the answer comes from the document, not from a model. If you go to the supporting content and thought process tabs, you can even see the snippet of text that was passed to the model as context for synthesizing the answer. And we realize the importance of this. When working with sensitive data, especially in government, you need that source attribution. Not just so that the end user can feel confident that the answer they're getting back is correct, but also from the auditability perspective. You need that transparency to know where the answers are coming from. Let's ask a follow-up question. So you'll recall from the problem statement that the challenge is to summarize what the APR narratives are about, but also to learn how those narratives relate to the milestones and requirements set by the Department of Housing and Community Development. We also don't have information on those requirements, but we do know what the governor's priorities are for housing legislation in the current year. So let's ask about that. How does this relate to the governor's priorities? Awesome. And we can also ask, what fiscal impact does it have? So we already talked a little bit about the RAG architecture, but just to reiterate, the main takeaway is that whenever you have a need to parse large, disparate documents, gather up information, or prioritize it, summarize it, and use it to answer questions, RAG is an ideal choice here for a solution because it does this all out of the box. So again, you can see that for someone working at the HCD having to read through literally hundreds of documents, that this is going to save a lot of time. But not only that, the solution will provide no loss to accuracy since we provide the citations. In addition, we're able to perform benchmarking of the application by component and as an end-to-end solution. At DataSurge, we feel strongly about taking this modularized approach to development. We're able to run experiments on individual components, swap out models, and maintain version control of those models, allowing us to get the best possible performance. We know that if we can squeeze out 3% here or 4% there, that difference can ultimately make or break a solution in production, because none of this matters if you can't put it to use in real environment on your own proprietary data. Ask us about how you can try Rescue AI on your own data.